Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Journeys. Today we're coming to you live from our studios in Kokom, namely we're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, minority in Parliament calls on President Akufo-Addo to order his trade minister to seize the laying of an instrument in Parliament to regulate the prices of cement.
Government reduce the taxes that are imposed on the inputs they use to produce the cement, that they would have no reason than to reduce the prices of cement.
We have details as a minority advises the removal of taxes on the commodity and the reduction of import duties. Also this afternoon, petroleum product prices expected to go up in the next window beginning July 1 due to the continuous depreciation of the cedi. And fears intensify over possible suspension of examinations in some colleges of education in the Ashanti region amid the ongoing CETAG strike. We have details of all of that coming up shortly. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please to stay for details. The minority in Parliament says President Akufo-Addo must order his trade minister to withdraw his proposed legislative instrument seeking to regulate the price of cement in the country. The minority have vowed to oppose the laying of the instrument, claiming it contravenes the proposed Allies Parent Act. Speaking to Joy News, member of the Trades and Industry Committee of Parliament, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, called on the president to cause a withdrawal of the instrument as it sins against even the ideology of the NPP as a center-right political party.
The minister himself in his statement said that the most important aspects of the LI and the reason why he's in Parliament is because of price. Now, it is even incongruous with the NPP as a property-owning democratic party, a party that is right in the center, that believe that, prices must be allowed to be determined or must be determined by the forces of demand and supply. That same political party that has been reiterated time and again by no less a person than the president is taking steps that conflict the same ideological position of their party to control prices of cement. What is most outrageous about the proposed LI is, if you look at the purpose of the regulation, it said that the purpose of this regulation is to provide for, one, the streamlining and regulation of the pricing of cement for wholesale and retail distribution in this country. How do you streamline that? Someone who buys cement from Gassem, for example, transport the cement to Tamale. Another person who buys the same cement from Gassem or Jata and transport the cement to Wale Wale, to Bolga, to Paga, to Navrango, to Takwa, to Axim. Their prices can never be the same because there are several factors that are imputed into the price determination of the item that they are going to sell. Assuming they each bought a bag of cement at 20 cedis, for example, or even 50 cedis. Because of the distances or differences in distances in terms of transportation, they all would factor into the final price of their product.
Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed says government should rather be removing taxes from the commodity and reducing import duties as one of the means to getting the cement manufacturers to reduce prices.
If government reduce the taxes that are imposed on the inputs they use to produce the cement, one, if government also reduce the import duties on the clinker and some of the products that they are imported into this country for the purposes of producing the cement, that they would have no reason than to reduce the prices of cement. That is what the government and the minister has control over. Now, if government says that if you agree to come on 1D, 1F, they give you tax holidays. You won't pay import duties for 5 years. Why can't government also do that with the producers or manufacturers of cement? That will give you some tax incentives, that the input you import into this country will give you tax holidays. The taxes you pay, the cost of electricity and energy that you use for the purposes of producing the cement in this country, we are going to reduce them. If government does that, government would then have the moral leg to stand on to demand a reduction in the prices of the cement in this country. We are not saying that we are not unhappy with the amount of money we are paying for cement in this country. What we are saying is that the reason why we are paying such exorbitant prices is because of the wicked policy interventions of this government in terms of the taxes that they charge on the inputs that are imported into this country. So what we are simply telling the minister, it is practically impossible. It is legally challenged, and I say legally challenged because how can you regulate prices of inputs? Because that's what I stated. If you look at section 2B, the regulation, this regulation applied to one, producers of raw materials for cement. And the regulation here is in reference to price regulations. Producers of raw materials, and the raw materials they are producing are all imported into this country.
Now, barring any universal changes in petroleum FOB prices, indications are that the pump retail prices of petrol, diesel, and LPG will go up primarily due to further depreciation of the cedi in the next retail pricing window beginning July 1, 2024. COPEC wants government to, among other things, do all it can to reduce taxes on LPG or to subsidize the price of LPG to promote and encourage its nationwide accessibility and usage, which will eventually help save the environment from further degradation by the use of firewood. I'll be joined by the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, but they've been making some projections, and I'll share with that with you shortly. It says that there are indications that the pump retail prices of petrol, diesel, LPG will go up primarily due to further drop of the cedi. And the following shall be the projected mean retail prices for those products. Petrol will go up to 14 cedi, 47 pesos per liter. Diesel 15 cedi, 21 pesos per liter, and the mean price for petroleum and diesel will be 14 cedis, 84 pesos. Then LPG will be 13 cedis, 94 pesos per kilogram, and that will be 14.5 kg LPG cylinder, which is expected to be selling at 202 cedis, 16 pesos within the window. I've been joined by Duncan Amwa. He is the Executive Secretary of COPEC. Grateful for your time. Let's have a further breakdown of what these new pricing will be in the next window. Kindly unmute for me, Duncan Amwa.
Good afternoon to your viewers, Aisha. If we do not have anything happening between today and Monday, chances are that you will be paying about 9% more on current prices per kilogram of LPG. Chances are that you'll be paying about 6% more, almost 7% more on each liter of diesel that you are buying today. Chances are that you'll be paying about 2% more on each liter of petrol that you are paying for as of today, Friday, the 28th day of June. These adjustments will be primarily due to the fact that FOB prices for petrol has seen about a $12 jump over the window. For diesel, you are seeing about a $50 jump on FOB over the window, whilst LPG
Kindly unmute for me. I think we lost you. Yeah. Go ahead, Duncan Amwa.
So you'll be seeing, you are seeing increases on FOB prices within the period. And so like I indicated, petrol has done about $12 a metric ton. Diesel, you are seeing about $50 extra a metric ton. LPG, you are seeing about another $40 over the period. Now, what we are saying is this. The city also, if you take a look at what the Chamber Bulk Oil Distribution Company computations are per window, last window, which is the current window that we are about to phase out, the exchange was computed around 14.9. As we speak, the seaboard exchange rate currently is around 15.50 to 15.55, which is about some 50 pesos between the past 2 weeks and the next window we are about to enter. So like I indicated, for LPG, you'll be seeing the biggest jump of almost 9% effective Monday. For diesel, you'll be seeing about 6 to 7% effective Monday. Whilst for petrol, you are likely to get about 2 Monday.
You've made some demands on how government should mitigate the pain that these increments will cause. What are they?
Indeed, I have seen in certain quarters where some authorities or officials of state insist that petrol has that indeed we can maintain petrol at around 14-15 without necessarily increasing it for Ghanaians any further. One thing that government would need to pay attention to is the cost of LPG, which I have indicated earlier, is likely to surge by as much as 9% within this very window. If that is allowed to filter through, LPG simply is going to go higher for the ordinary pocket to bear. So government would need to be decelerating on the taxes and levies that we apply to these products. Unfortunately, the past 1-2 months has also seen levies and margins that we have applied to these products rather go up. Not long ago, you saw UPPF having been adjusted by some 5 pesos with the excuse that the fuel consumed by the security agencies would need to be paid for, and you and I are paying for it. Unfortunately, we seem to rather be adding onto the levies, the margins, the markups that we have on petroleum products. At the time that prices seem to be surging, we should rather be thinking of reducing them to also contain the level of inflation we have as far as petroleum products and its impact on the economy is concerned.
Duncan Amwa, I'm grateful for your time. He is the Executive Secretary of COPEC. Let's get on to other stories. Amidst the lingering nationwide strike by the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, there is a rising apprehension concerning the likelihood of suspending examinations in several affected institutions. With the examination period fast approaching and with no end in sight for the impasse, educational administrators are confronted with the daunting challenges that are threatening to disrupt the academic calendar across the various campuses. There are growing concerns among students who are missing crucial lessons necessary to prepare them for the final examination. My colleague Nana Boachie joins us from the campus of St. Louis College of Education in Kumasi. Nana Boachie, what are the students telling you?
Well, Aisha, at the St. Louis College of Education in the Ashanti region, these students are complaining bitterly about the ongoing strike by CETAG. Most of them say that their examination is fast approaching. They need time to study for their exams. And so if the strike is not called off, it is going to affect their score in the examination. Anytime administration releases their timetable for them to continue with their examination, if CETAG does call off the strike. And so they are complaining bitterly about the impact of this strike, which is really affecting the academics. Most of them on their campuses, they have their classrooms locked, just as it was yesterday when we visited the Wesley College of Education at St. Louis. The classes are locked. The students are learning amongst themselves with their hopes hanging in a balance as to when CETAG will call off the strike.
Has there been any response from administration, Nana Boache?
Well, the College of Education Administration, during our engagement with them, also said that they do not have anything whatsoever that they can do at the moment because the strike hasn't been called off. Yesterday, they were expecting a positive response from CETAG after their engagement with the National Labour Commission. But then, as of this morning, they haven't heard anything positive from the leadership of CETAG. And so, with regards to the administration responding to matters of examination, they would keep that on hold for now.
You've been interacting with the local CETAG. What have they been telling you?
Well, the local CETAG also said that the leadership had an engagement with the NLC yesterday. For them, they were expecting a positive response from the National Labour Commission when CETAG did appear before them with their employers. But then, as of this morning, they haven't heard anything from their leadership. And so they would still be on the various campuses of the colleges of education, but then to participate in any other academic activity, that would not happen. Their leadership would have to give them the permission to do so.
Nana Boache Yadom is our man in Kumasi monitoring this for us. We'll bring you more as and when we get some response from administration and also from CETAG. Let's take you back to Parliament, where the Trade and Industry Minister is expected to lay an airline to regulate the prices of cement. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante has joined us with more. Kweku, has a subsidiary legislation committee presented its report after meeting yesterday?
Actually, that report has not been laid yet. The minister really racing against time because for this airline to mature into law, he will need 21 sitting days for that to mature into law. And Parliament is expected ordinarily to go on break at the end of July. That means that ordinarily, apart from today, Parliament has less than 21 sitting days to sit. If they are to get 21 sitting days, they would have to sit on Mondays. They'll probably have to sit on Saturdays as well in the next 4 weeks to be able to get 21 days. So the best bet for KTM to be able to get his 21 sitting days is to get this airline late today. But already the minority are blocking that. They are scattling that. We understand that report from the Subsidiary Legislation Committee made late today. I haven't seen it on the other paper, but another paper addendum may come because of the way the situation is working in the House. And specifically, if you look at the specifics that we've gotten from the minority in Parliament and the information we are getting, this report may indeed come, but their position is not going to change. Yesterday at that committee meeting, there were about 8 or 9 NPC MPs, while there were only 2 MPP MPs. So if it comes down to a vote, obviously the majority side are not going to win. And so KT Amount is trying to race against time to get this airline late today. He himself is not yet in the House. I'm sure he's trying to do some background talks to get the minority buy-in on this. But clearly, as we speak today, it does not look good for him because the minority are not ready to get that airline late.
Kweku, we are also hearing that Kweku Kwatin, who is chairman of the Finance Committee, has been removed as chairman, and now he is spokesperson of Economic Committee. What exactly does this mean?
Well, so this has been coming for months and months now. The allegations that have been made against Kweku Kwatin by his own majority colleagues have been that he is in connivance with the minority MPs are blocking the tax waivers, about $400 million worth of tax waivers sitting at the Finance Committee. That has not been able to come to the floor. And so you will recall that Ahmed Ibrahim, speaking to Evans Mensah on PM Express, did say that there was a certain plot to remove Kweku Kwatin as chairman of the Finance Committee. The majority leader has dropped that bombshell on the floor of Parliament a while ago. He says that Kweku Kwatin will now go and chair the Economic Committee. But if you look at the powers of both the Economic Committee and the Finance Committee, clearly the Finance Committee is more powerful. It has more responsibilities than the Economic Committee, which really is just in charge of the National Development Planning Commission, among others, and in terms of the ability to really make any change. So it was out of the blue, the majority leader, Fenyo Makin, announcing on the floor that he is now going to be their chair on that Economic Committee to speak for them on matters on the economy. But really, in terms of the powers, it is not at par with the Finance Committee. The minority already describing that as a coup. They say that it is not the way to treat a person that has really served Parliament really well in the last few weeks. So in the next few days, we'll probably get to know the specifics of this change. We expect that the selection committee of Parliament, chaired by the Speaker of Parliament himself, will present their report to the House on which MPs are being moved here and there, especially now that the Parliament of Ghana has more committees because of the new standing orders. And so all these are going to be fleshed out in the coming days. But we can now confirm, as the majority legislature has announced, that Kweku Kwarteng will no longer chair the Finance Committee and will be moved to go and chair the Committee on the Economy.
Kweku Asante there, he's our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. We'll bring you more from Parliament, but we can listen to Afenyo Marking speaking on Kweku Kwarteng.
On the economy, Honorable Kweku Kwarteng is going to be our spokesperson on the economy. Yes, you don't have the new economy committee is going to be the most important committee of this act. In this new standing of this, Mr. Speaker, we have a finance committee and an economy committee. And I'm just informing you. Mr. Speaker, this is just by the way. But it's okay.
The committees have not been.
Mr. Speaker, I'm letting them know of some of the proactive steps we are taking on this side of the house to throw a serious challenge that is not just about governance. We have a new economy committee.
Honourable members, is the leader of the house who is speaking. Please allow him. Afterwards, I'll give you the opportunity.
It's going to be the most important committee in this house. So we are challenging you. We are challenging you to come up with your spokesperson on the economy. You have not said so officially. We are going to make sure we have a spokesperson on the economy to challenge your Agudongo. We are going to, Honorable Kweku Kwarteng is now going to face you directly on the economy. Not now, I'm just announcing. Yes, that is why we are now going to make Honorable Kweku Kwarteng the chair of the economy committee to face you and be our spokesperson. He's going to face you. He's going to face you. If the leader, but also he doesn't come. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. You can do it better. It's okay. It's okay. You sit down. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Mr. Speaker, on the free SHS bill.
Leader, the selection of committee.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm not going there.
Chaired by
Mr. Speaker, we are
from Parliament, that Sokori Mampong District Court hearing the case involving actor Kweku Kwarteng, popularly known as Lil Win, has adjourned the case to July 29, 2024, awaiting legal advice from the Attorney General. When the case was called on Wednesday, June 27, the prosecutor, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Emilio Usuansa, told the court they had sent the docket to the AG's department for study and advice. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
Actor Kweku Kwarteng, popularly known as Lil Win, was arraigned in court facing charges of dangerous driving and negligently causing harm following his arrest on Monday, June 3, 2024. The arrest and subsequent prosecution are connected to an accident involving a vehicle he was driving, which tragically resulted in the death of a 3-year-old boy. He was granted a 50,000 Ghana cedis bail with 2 sureties by the Sokori Mampong District Court. When he reappeared before the court, presiding judge Samuel Boabeng Kwanzaa adjourned the trial, awaiting advice from the Attorney General's department. Meanwhile, Lil Win's counsel, lawyer Nana Bonsutri Chie, emphasized that their next course of action will depend on the advice received from the Attorney General's office.
What we are gathering is a criminal matter. If you have anything that we are supposed to gather, it is peculiar to us. We have to keep it tentative. It's up to us, right? And also, they have to, the police or the prosecution must prove their case for us to have a case to answer before we will be able to put us now before the court to know whether we will be able to rebut any doubt that the police has created in this matter or the prosecution has created in this matter. So for now, we cannot speak to anything with regards to how we are preparing towards the matter. We are only waiting for the Attorney General to give the specific advice in accordance with its mandates in the Constitution as well as the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act.
What's the condition of your client now?
He is well, at least by God's grace. As you've seen him, he's able to move, speak, eat. So I believe he's quite well now, though we expect him to be better as he used to be before this whole incident happened. So he's well.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Preliminary data gathered by researchers show that commuters are unknowingly breathing in toxic air during rush hours as they navigate the daily grind, crowding into public transport vehicles and inching through traffic. They are exposed to harmful pollutants. Clean Air Beat reporter Michael Ashali explores the alarming impact of air pollution on commuters in today's episode.
Air pollution is now the second leading global risk factor for death. This shocking data comes from a UNICEF-backed report in collaboration with the Health Effects Institute. The numbers reveal a grim reality. In 2021, air pollution killed 8.1 million people, translating to about 22,192 deaths every day. Even more heartbreaking, one child dies every minute due to air pollution.
The statistics are stark. The last report that was released on the state of global air quality showed that there were a little over 7 million deaths from air pollution related diseases.
The biggest culprit is Ghana's aging, highly polluting fleet of vehicles. A sea of cars crawl bumper to bumper, thickening the air with harmful particles and gases. It's rush hour, a bustling time when everyone is on the move, crowding into public transport vehicles to reach their destinations. For those navigating this daily ordeal, the respiratory strain is palpable, with each breath laden with potential health risk.
It's not easy. It's a difficult moment, especially something that relates to your breath. You can't breathe as you do so often. It's challenging breathing.
Reuben Alexander Otu has asthma, a life-threatening illness that constricts airways. He's one of a growing number of Ghanaians with respiratory illness and a range of ailments, including heart conditions that doctors say are worsened by toxic air. O2 has to think all day, every day about avoiding triggers.
You encounter different kind of cars with the smoke from their exhaust pipes, very bad, and they are not the best.
70% of daily commuters in Ghana use privately run minibuses known as trotros, which are often older, higher emitting vehicles.
We give it to them to wear. Okay. The idea is to wear to where their nose level is. Okay. Just to see whether what they are breathing in will be the same as the Satan is speaking.
Researchers at AfriSet, an air quality research organization, are studying commuter exposure during rush hours using wearable mobile sensors. The preliminary results, according to James Nimo, a research associate at AfriSet, are startling.
From the raw, we could see that people are exposed to poor air quality. I think from 40 milligram per meter cubic to 100 milligram per meter cubic, which is above the Ghana EPA standard. So rush hours are around 80 milligram per meter cubic, which is not good for human health. So from the graph, you could see that from between 6 and 10, we have some peaks. Between 6 and 10, we have some values, the peaks, right? Peaks above that, and then in the evening, right, it can go up to almost 100 milligram per meter cube.
Ghana's
Time now to talk about the Impact Makers Award. It's coming off at the Accra International Conference Center this Saturday at 7 p.m. 10 exemplary young leaders making a difference in the community will be honored by Joy News. Joining me now is two of those 10 finalists, Andrew Enjenimboating. He's a teacher at Sumaman Senior High School in the Bono region of Ghana, and he strives to narrow the digital gap between rural and urban areas by empowering communities to drive their development. Joseph Maujom is also a hydrogeologist, wash specialist, and sustainability professional who has dedicated himself to enhancing access to safe water and promoting self-sufficiency in underdeserved communities with a particular focus on the Upper Manyakrobo district. Let me start with you, Enjenimboating. How do you feel being nominated as the top 10 finalists of the Impact Makers Award? Kindly unmute for me, Enjenimboating.
All right.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me greet your viewers. Actually, when I got the message and the call, that actually put me on cloud 9. I was extremely happy with my team together. And I must be honest, the entire German of district, the entire people, our chiefs, the Nanum, everybody, they were very happy. So it's a very big platform that will help me and the rest of the colleagues to maximize our exposure, the brand, the vision, and the impact that we're trying to build in German and then in the Bono region as a whole. So it's a good news for all of us.
Let's get more into some of the things you've been doing in the Bono region that is earning you this award.
Thank you very much. I'm the leader and the founder of the German Students Union, which was founded back in 2014 when I was in the University of Education. And our mission and vision is to give back to our communities, to collaborate with the stakeholders, our politicians, the educators, and then the communities so that we can build resilient societies and communities for ourselves and then by ourselves. So we identify problems in the education sector, and we realize that we don't have library facilities, we don't have ICT training centers. So we decided to collaborate with the traditional council, our political leaders, and the entire communities so that we can build ultra-modern ICT training facilities and library centers for our students who are schooling in the marginalized communities or the rural communities. So that was how it all started. And as I speak with you, we have been able to mobilize resources within the German of district amounting to 950,000 to put up our first ultramodern ICT library training center in Sampa.
Congratulations for a good job done. Definitely tomorrow we will know more about Enjenimboating and the good work he's doing in his community. Joseph Maujom is also one of the 10 finalists. Joseph, how do you feel about this nomination? Joseph? Right, so we lost Joseph Maujom, who is one of the 10 finalists. He is a specialist in water solutions, and he's been championing that in his community. We'll tell you all about him also tomorrow when the events kickstarts at the conference center. And we're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you from our studios in Kokomle, maybe on the fan of a street. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Good afternoon, everyone. Warm welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojobaka. Stakeholders in the agricultural value chain are calling for the creation of special purpose vehicles, which will offer reduced interest rates and other incentives to make agriculture more attractive to the youth. Now, the country director of Agria, Dr. Betty Annan, charged the government to carefully examine the potential of the agricultural sector and implement tailored programs to spur growth. She spoke at the maiden National Steering Committee meeting aimed at reducing unemployment in the agriculture sector.
Despite significant economic growth in the past few years, Ghana's unemployment rate continues to increase. At 14.7%, the West African country will require sustainable policies to create the needed jobs to further reduce the rate. Meanwhile, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, the agriculture sector employs almost 40% of Ghana's population. However, the country is yet to realize its full potential. In this regard, Agra, in partnership with the National Development Planning Commission, has constituted a National Steering Committee to coordinate the efforts of stakeholders to address youth employment by making agriculture and agribusiness attractive. Dr. Betty Annan, Country Director for Agra, called for policies to make the sector attractive.
We all know that traditionally, agriculture has been the domain of the older generation. There is, however, a growing movement to get more youth involved. To enhance greater youth engagement in the agricultural sector, active youth groups and sectors in the sector need focused attention to address some of these challenges and to do so comprehensively. As we all are aware, you will agree with me that there have been several interventions across the country to address youth unemployment.
Stephen Ampem-Darko is the principal planning analyst at the Monitoring Evaluation Unit at the National Development Planning Committee.
We are looking at how we can coordinate various activities in addressing youth unemployment, addressing the role of even the stakeholders such as the people living with disability, as well as also, people in agriculture.
Human waste can be transformed into a reliable and sustainable power source through a process called anaerobic digestion. According to the Managing Director of Safisana Ghana, Petroleum, this technology utilizes microorganisms to break down the organic material in waste, producing biogas that can fuel Ghana's growing industrial sector. He spoke to Joy Business during a state visit as part of planned International Stronger Technology project in Accra.
Safisana, a global social enterprise with a branch in Ghana, has developed a circular system for treating organic waste and fecal sludge. This solution targets urban communities and industries in low and middle income countries. General Manager for Safisana Ghana, Petroleum, believes this project has the potential to significantly improve Ghana's national electricity supply deficit.
Now, when we produce the biogas, it goes back to industry for utilization in their powering or fuel needs, and this also reduces their dependence on fossil, thereby reducing their carbon footprint. We know our energy mix, majority of it is powered by fossil. So if we produce green electricity from waste sources, it means that less will be required from the fossil-powered generators, thereby also reducing our carbon footprint as a nation in generating electricity.
Mr. Asilevi also advocates for government policy changes to accelerate the growth of the circular economy.
When we create the conducive environment for the business to thrive, the impact case increases, the number of people who benefit, and also the climate issues being resolved in our own small way would also be increased. So when there is policy direction on shifting gradually from chemical fertilizers to organic fertilizers, it is creating market for organic fertilizers and will require more production, and this will also culminate in we evacuating more waste from the community. When you give me more allocation on the grid to produce more of electricity from the waste, it means that I would have been giving you energy which is very required for our economic development.
Ghana's growing population and rapid urbanization have intensified the challenge of ensuring energy security for both rural and urban areas. This pressing issue underscores the urgent need to transition to sustainable energy sources.
And that's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Bakadar. Will be at 1 p.m. with the marketplace. Sports is next.
Time now to bring you sports on Joy News today with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullahi. Former Ghana international Reverend Jose Kofi has described Mohamed Kudus as a rare talent. According to him, in the history of Ghana football, it's been only him and Mohamed Polo who took up the mantle of making sure that the Black Stars succeed anytime the whole team flopped. Speaking on Prime Take, he called on the Ghana Football Association and the technical team to protect Mohamed Kudus.
There are some of us who are being talented, like Messi. When Messi is in the team, when the team flops, then he takes over. And I was given that order by CK Yemfi. When the team flops, then I have to carry the team. And we are about 3 in Ghana who does this. Myself and Polo. The Polo had a fearsome 5. It was because of Polo. When he had 4 strikers in one match. Peter Lam, Timama, Kwana, Sebi, and Robert Hammond. When Polo gets the ball, the 4 will move, and Polo will decide which one to give to whom he knows he can score. It's hardly to have such players. After me, it was Polo who came. And since then, like how Kudus is coming up. If the technical team were good enough, we always build a team around some individuals. So there is a problem. But we were amateurs. We played for the love of the game and for Ghana. But now they are professionals, so they are playing for themselves to be bought.
Fixtures of the Euro 2024 round of 16 matches that will be happening tomorrow. We'll have Italy come up against Switzerland, and then also the host nation Germany. They will also play in their thigh against Denmark, and then also we have Romania versus Netherlands. We have Austria versus Turkey. Portugal will come up against Slovenia. England will play Slovakia. France will play Belgium, and Switzerland versus Italy. So it is Switzerland versus Italy. That game will be kicking off at 4 p.m. on Saturday. And as always, Joy Sports coverage of this year's Euro 2024 is by courtesy of Sporty TV and Sporty Bet. And you can catch some of the Euro 2024 matches on Sporty TV, channel 36. And also, NASCO, they have made it possible for us to bring you live commentary on all our platforms. NASCO, they say, bring home happiness. That's your sports for now. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more sports stories. We appreciate your time.
Time now for Showbiz, and musician Wendy Shea and her former manager Bullet have decided to bury the hatchet and make music together once more. After a public fallout over a contract dispute, the duo is back on track. We have more.
Wendy Shea, born under the guidance of Rough Town Records manager Bullet, has been dropping hit after hit since she signed onto the label in 2018. Well, this came after the tragic passing of her label mate, Ebony Rains. Recently, Bullet had publicly discussed their spat, confirming the disagreement between the two. But he reassured fans that Wendy Shea was not leaving the label. However, in a recent interview with DJ Slim, Wendy Shea, the Uber driver hitmaker, revealed that she and Bullet have now patched things up.
So yes, Bullet and I had a problem. Okay. We had an issue. It was more, out of like loyalty. Okay, Bullet has been there for me. Everybody knows how Bullet has been my backbone. So let me just make her just day and see how far we can go. How things will end. So at that time in Sono, let's say 2 years ago, there was this international record label that had come wanting to work with me.
I've heard about that.
Yes, exactly, and they wanted like a 360 deal. So Bullet actually. I understood the contract, but Bullet also, explained it to me further from, his point of view. And I think he was actually making sense. But then, things just escalated to, but we sorted it. Long
okay,
story
that's
short,
2 years ago.
that was no. So what actually brought this up, there was a little friction. Yes, but like I said, I don't even
professional.
Yes, but I don't even want to go detailed or exactly into because in peninphobia, but we settled this issue, so it's actually squashed.
Well, let's hope this reunion will be for good. Good bangers are definitely on its way to fans.
I'm a survivor.
Delving into untold stories of Ghana's past, a new theatre production is exploring the complex history of the transatlantic slave trade and its impact on the country's cultural identity. The play Ayokumi, written by Gerald Nyako-Mensah, tells untold stories of slave trade through music, dance, and drama. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomaya-Boa has more.
Theatre enthusiasts are in for a treat as the new play, Ayokumi, is set to premiere this weekend, 29 June 2024. Written by Gerald Nyako-Mensah, this production tells the story of an anointed princess from Ghana who narrowly escapes capture by slave raiders as a baby during the Shea Butter Market Day in Salaga. The play follows her journey as she is rescued and adopted by a soul trader and explores the themes of resistance, identity, and cultural heritage. According to the playwright Gerald Nyako-Mensah, Ayokumi tells a different untold story of the slave trade in Ghana.
Actually, it's from the Ewe Togo Benin dialect. It means share butter. So Ayokumi is a share butter seller. Now, the story is set in the colonial era and it's meant to be a series. This first part is the beginning. What we want to do with Ayokumi is to tell the other side of the story, the holistic view. There was trade going on even before the slave trade itself commenced. There was very vibrant trade going on between north and south of Ghana. There was salt moving up by canoe via the Volta River to the north to exchange for shea butter. This was going on. There was the kola nut economy, which was coming via Ashanti. Okay, so we want to show through Ayokumi how all this interplay. This first part shows the beginning, is the awakening. So we want to show how the resilience has roots way back. How people in Ghana already had deep knowledge of trade issues, international trade, and all of that.
What sets Ayokumi apart from other productions? Director Kobina Hagan explains.
I think I love the fusion of contemporary with the tradition. This is what sets it apart. With my approach with it, we are trying to bring in mixed media, bring in aspects of media, bring in aspects of the traditional and then the contemporary as well.
Ayokumi, which premieres on 29 June, is a must-see for anyone interested in Ghanaian history, culture, and theatre.
And that'll be it for Showbiz. That'll be it also for the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories and some of the headlines you will see there. There's a lot more there if you log on to myjournline.com. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.